there. I hope you're doing fantastically well, having an amazing week, and are ready for an amazing weekend. Life is great here in paradise. What can I say? It's early November is the end of the hurricane season in the Caribbean, and we are seeing. We had a tropical storm for a few days, and I think it's pretty much past now. We had lots of sun yesterday, a little bit gray today. So the rainy season is winding down. We're about to move into the dry season, which surprisingly, I mean, I actually prefer the rainy season most of the time. This year was a very rainy season, much more rain than usual. So a lot, pretty wet most of the time. Um, that's not how it typically is. Um, all right. So I hope you're well. We're going to be talking today about supplements and about electrolytes. Hey, buddy. Hey. That's Chai, my buddy. Hello, Steve. I'm doing great. Thank you. Flyer, good to see you. You're very welcome. I'm glad to be here as always. Joshua, have I seen scar tissue breakdown? Yes, scar tissue varies quite a bit. It depends on lots of different factors, including the type of scar, where it is, etc. But in some cases, we'll see scar tissue break down and heal, and in other cases, we won't. It just depends on the specifics. Okay, Amir, hello there. Good morning to you. You are very welcome. I'm glad to be here. I'm well aware that I missed some live broadcasts while traveling, but I'm glad to be back. So thank you, Judy. Good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. Let's see. Eat for Abundant Health. Hello there. Good to see you. Let me see if I can alter this a little bit. It's a little too dark. There we go. Okay. So hello. Yeah. Okay. Hello there. Good to see you. Okay. And Amir says, in the absence of vomiting or watery stool, what's the maximum amount of water any of your clients ever needed to drink per day while fasting? The maximum amount that we've ever seen anyone drink is probably around 8 liters per day. And the body can handle 8 liters per day. Science actually says the 2 healthy kidneys can process up to 1 liter per hour. Now, I recommend drinking half that much to be safe. Okay, so 500 milliliters an hour. That means if you didn't sleep at all in a 24-hour period, theoretically, your body could safely handle 12 liters. Okay, I've never seen anyone drink more than 8, and 8's pretty unusual. Most people fasting with me get to somewhere between 6 and 7 liters at some point. Most people closer to 6 or 6.5, but it varies for each person, and it depends on what's going on in their body, how dehydrated they were when they started, what exactly their body needs to do, how much old hard material is stuck in the body. And so, hello, Danya. And so it's going to vary for each person. We look at their daily vital signs to understand, as well as their hydration level, to understand whether they're getting enough water or not. Okay, so it's going to be individual for each person, how much each person needs. What is going on here? Okay. What water do you drink? Well, this water right here. This is spring water from our own site. There's nothing better than spring water. Hey, stop that. We have perfect spring water here on site, and that's the very best you can do. Nobody should ever consume distilled water. Distilled water is unfit for human consumption. We actually need those minerals to be there. And I want the way to think about this. We breathe air primarily to get oxygen, right? I tell you. Wish I had that. You want a cat? You can get a cat. So maybe you're talking about spring water. So we breathe air to get oxygen, but we don't want to breathe oxygen. Okay, breathing oxygen only, which is sometimes done. I'm gonna let the cat out. Sometimes done for therapeutic reasons, is not necessarily safe. It's not what we're intended to do. So I wouldn't recommend getting an oxygen tank and just breathing that. We should breathe air and oxygen makes up a smaller percentage than it should be. There was a lot more oxygen in the air 100 years ago, but we don't want just oxygen. In the same way, we don't actually want to drink pure water because that's unnatural. We're never going to improve on nature. In nature, there's always minerals, always. Okay, rain on average contains something like 3 minerals. With I think in one where they'd had like 30 samples, in one sample there were 5 different minerals that appeared in rainwater. Okay, rain doesn't, moisture doesn't precipitate out of the air until it encounters a solid object. Stainless steel collection plate. In the air, it's just pollen, pollutants, or minerals. Okay, so when rain falls, it's never, there's people out there say rain is distilled water. No, it's not. I mean, they also say urine is distilled water and fruit juice is distilled water. These are ridiculous assertions because fruit juice is loaded with nutrients. Distilled water is only water. Okay, urine has up to 300 plus chemicals in it, including household cleaning products and pharmaceutical products and environmental toxins. And I mean, urine is the number one way the body gets the garbage out of the body. Okay, so I'm going to go into this discussion. I'm not going to be answering all the questions today. What about the chemtrails and the rain today? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't recommend drinking rainwater until it's filtered because rainwater can include all kinds of garbage. Okay, hey Peter, how are you? I know I owe you a document. I've just been so busy. We're completely full here, and I've got 4 daily calls with clients right now working with me remotely, and it has been super, super busy for me ever since I got back. And so I apologize, but I realize I need to get something to you. Okay, Carrie, hello there from Mesquite, Nevada. In the absence of vomiting or water stool, what's the maximum amount of water? Okay, we did that. How often you take sips of water? Well, how often I take sips of water is irrelevant to what you need to do because I have fasted a lot and have for the last nearly 31 years. I'll celebrate my 31st anniversary living on fruit and simple salads in about 2 weeks. It's late November. And so my body is not necessarily the same as yours. I mean, we're all different. And most people need to drink about 3 to 4 liters a day when eating optimally until they get their body clean. I drink a lot less water than that. I drink more water now than I did 7 or 8 years ago. Why? Because I'm now doing 4 to 5 hours a day talking to people via Zoom, okay, consultations, coaching, fasting supervision remotely, as well as giving a lecture here and spending 3 to 4 hours a day talking to all of my fasting clients here. And so, I mean, I'm literally talking and listening. It's a conversation. These are conversations, except when I'm recording something like this. There are conversations, but I'm conversing, 8 to 10 hours a day. Most people don't do that. And I don't mean, you sit and you have a few words, you share a few words while you're watching a TV show. I'm talking about sitting for 3 to 4 hours every day, talking to one person after the other, and then coming into here and doing a consultation where I'm listening and talking, for an hour, and then, like that. So my water needs are a little higher now than they were 7, 8 years ago when I was spending less time speaking. I wasn't quite as busy with these calls or here. I mean, back then we had fewer guest beds than we do now. So, I'm spending more time than ever talking. And for that, I probably drink a glass or 2 per day. It will vary depending on the day. Okay, little tiny sips throughout the time. And again, when I'm talking, I'll need a little bit more. Okay, so let's talk about, do you respond to your emails? Well, I do my best. I get behind on emails. I mean, I respond to my own emails if that's what you're asking, but I'm overwhelmed. I have, in addition to email, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and it's pretty hard to stay on top of it all. And so I do my best to respond to the things that seem to be most important most of the time. I get behind. I used to try to respond to everything in 24 hours. I can't do that anymore. I'm behind on that. So hopefully that will improve. All right, let's see. Well, thank you, Tessa. I appreciate that very much. Tessa says, I look forward to this every week. Fasting Frugivore, hello there. Good to see you. Requesting to be in the video. Well, I'm going to be sharing today. And if you have an audience and want to set up a time where we talk and you promote it, I'll be happy to show up if you've got people. But this one's just going to be me. All right. Can you coach me at home in the UK? What about testing? Yeah, absolutely. I work with people remotely all over the world. Right now, I have 4 daily calls that I'm working with people in Asia, in the US, in North America, in Latin America, in Europe. There's no problem. It doesn't matter where you are. We don't do, I mean, you're going to need a blood pressure monitor, thermometer, and a scale. There's a few other devices you can have as well, things that we use here. And you can get those devices. They're relatively affordable and easily acquirable. And you take your numbers every day, you put them on a spreadsheet, we go over them together in a daily group call, okay? A daily group call. And then you get an email from me every day. You get a video from me every day to help keep you motivated and inspired and educated. And it's a powerful process. I mean, it's nothing like being here. Don't get me wrong. You know, if you can get here, you probably should. Tanglewood is, I have a guy here now who owns a resort in Spain. And he said to me the other day, he pulled me aside and said, I have a beautiful high-end resort. Your place is perfect, you know, especially for what you're doing. It's perfect. I had another guy come up to me the same day, a client, and say to me, I just, you know, I wandered around the whole property this morning. Well, not the whole property. We're 15 hectares, 37 acres, but, you know, the area closest to the buildings and down to the stream. I think he went that far. And he said to me, this is the most beautiful piece of property I've ever seen. And it's true, because we've invested a lot of money to make it that way. Landscaping and fruit trees and you know, beautiful flowering plants. And the idea is to give you an amazing environment where you can stay connected with nature. Okay. And if you can follow coaching, you'll see amazing results. Okay. Every single time. Now, if you can't get here, then yep, I can definitely work with you remotely. No question about it. Okay, good. Viking data. Well, I don't know who your partner is, but I'm glad that your partner's here, and I hope that you can fast with us in the future as well. Manolo, good to see you. Dulce and Ra. Meta, nice to see you here. I've been healing from cancer naturally. Tumors inactive. Now I want to shrink the tumor. Yeah, well, fasting is an amazing tool. It doesn't always work for tumors, but it usually does. Your amazing body knows exactly what belongs. I'm smiling because I'm trying to wave to people and somehow clicking on, I have these things come up, you know, eliminate this person. No, I'm trying to cancel that. Anyway, I'm not very technically astute here. All right, let's see. Fasting Frugivore says, many thanks for all that you do, truly making this world a better place. We'll be at Paradise Tanglewood sooner rather than later. God bless you. Thank you so much. Okay. You're Sarah's partner. Yeah, she's lovely. We hope that you can get here sometime soon. All right. So what I wanted to do today is to share a little bit about electrolytes and supplements in general. And these are subjects I've talked about before, but you know what? They're so important. I think it's always useful to go back and go through these things again. You know, there's one more question. I'm going to respond to this because I want to share a principle here. Okay, so we're in the process of writing your books. Yeah, thank you so much. I need that push. Frankly, I have been so busy, I haven't gone very far. And many of you are probably aware, but not quite 6 months ago, almost 6 months ago, I met my soulmate, and I met an amazing woman, and that's occupied a lot of my time, and I'm glad that it has. I feel very grateful for that. But it's made it, a little, even a little bit harder to accomplish some of the things I want to, just because I've been traveling and et cetera, to spend time with her. But my plan is to get some things organized and to get the book completely written by the end of 2023 and hopefully published in early 2024. That's the plan. Okay. So I was going to answer this other question. Abstract Swirls asks if fasting helps heal herniated and bulging cervical neck discs. My mom has a lot of pain in her neck and arms. She's vegan and high raw, but pain is not subsiding. Would chiropractic care help? Well, chiropractic care can help, but what you want to be clear about, and this is what I started to say, what you want to be really clear about, and so many people are not clear about this, is that healing and cleansing, we talk a lot about detoxification here because that's what happens when we're fasting. Cleansing and healing are biological processes. Only the body can cleanse or heal the body. Okay, nothing you take, nothing you do can heal you. The founder of chiropractic, a man by the name of Palmer, used to teach that chiropractic healed everything, that every single disease was caused by subluxations in the spine. Now that's obviously ridiculous. That's absurd. And this was more than 100 years ago, and I don't know where he got this idea, but of course it was silly. I mean, maybe it helped sell chiropractic treatments. Chiropractic can be helpful in various conditions, but it doesn't heal us. Only the body can heal the body. And so this question about herniated and bulging discs, there was a question here. Kristen made a $2 contribution. Thank you so much. And said, can a fast alleviate symptoms of menopause? So here's the operative question to ask. So, we don't, instead of answering 100 questions today about can it heal this and can it heal that? Will it help with this condition or that one? Here's the thing to ask. Can this condition improve in any way? Is it possible for the body to heal, to alleviate symptoms of menopause? Yes, absolutely. Many women have been able to alleviate symptoms of menopause. Is it possible to heal bulging discs? Absolutely. So given that, if we understand that the body can do these things, then the next question is, well, that's actually the question, because what we understand is that fasting, when it's done properly, it has to be done properly, okay? Because if it's like anything else. I mean, you want to build a house, fantastic. If you build it properly, you'll have a great house. What if you don't build it properly? What if you don't know what you're doing? What if you don't build the walls? What if you don't have a strong foundation? Well, your house may collapse into the ground. What if you don't know how to build a wall that's going to support the roof? Then you're going to have problems. Okay. What if you don't know how to build a roof that keeps the rain out? You're going to have issues. Okay. And so it's like anything else, it can be very powerful when it's done correctly. Let me try turning that off. I think it's a little easier if I don't have that bright light in front of me. And so fasting is incredibly powerful because it simply gives the body the optimal conditions to cleanse and heal, regardless of the situation, regardless of what the conditions are. Okay. Your body is self-healing. And when we get out of its way, which is what we're doing when we fast, we allow the body the optimal conditions to cleanse and heal. Okay. And so absolutely, fasting will help alleviate symptoms of menopause, assuming your body has enough time and you do this correctly to eliminate a lot of the garbage, because a lot of those symptoms are happening because of toxicity in the body. Okay, that's what's going on. All right. Okay, that's what's going on. Eat for abundant health. Let me suggest this. I see your comment about being only 8 stone. I don't know how tall you are, but why don't you do this? Why don't you complete our fasting application? It's free. Go to the TanglewoodWellnessCenter.com website, complete the application, and let me know that you're Eat for Abundant Health, and complete all the information so I can see your history and I can see your height and weight and your age and all those things. And then I'll gladly respond to that when I get a chance. Okay. Your weight is not a problem. Okay. It is not an issue. No problem whatsoever. We fast people. I have somebody who's for 4 years did all of my videos, who was 5'7", that's 172 centimeters, and weighed 40 kilos, 88 pounds. And she fasted 21 days. And she came back and fasted 3 more times. And now no longer, according to her A1C, no longer has type 1 diabetes. Okay, and is now healthier than she's ever been. This is what happens. Okay, so thank you, Real McCoy. The realist McCoy says, give it a thumbs up. And I appreciate that. There are 30 of you here. I see 13 thumbs up. I don't know how many likes we have here with those of you with me on Instagram. But if you're finding this content valuable, if you're glad that I'm here, please show the appreciation and feel free to share a link to these broadcasts, either on Instagram or YouTube, on your page, channel, group, what have you. Okay, that's all there for you. All right, so fasting done correctly, there is nothing more powerful or beneficial, absolutely. But it's got to be done correctly, because it's the very best way to get out of the way so that our self-cleansing, self-healing body can cleanse and heal. And let's talk directly about, this is a good segue into this conversation about supplements. Okay, people say to me, I mean, there's a guy out there, some of you know his name, I won't mention it. I'm not a fan. I'll tell you, I've known the guy I've known for a long time, and don't have much respect for, because he's clearly getting paid to push products and pretends he's not. He insists that he's not getting paid, but that's a lie. That's a lie, because he knows better. Pushing this garbage he's pushing. Okay, so let's be clear. I mean, I've heard that guy and many other people say, well, if I have a deficiency of something and I take a supplement, I've fixed the problem. No, you haven't. That's a Band-Aid approach, okay? Because we're meant to get our nutrients in nature. We're meant to get our nutrients naturally through diet, through sunlight, the natural ways. This is what we're meant to do. And if we are taking a supplement that's not natural, and the problem is that we're going to negatively affect, i.e. imbalance the body. And there's plenty of evidence. There's now multiple studies that show that people who take supplements have higher rates of disease than people who don't. The very first one that demonstrated this was B12-2, was the Finnish smokers study, where they took thousands of middle-aged male cigarette smokers in Finland, and they followed them from their mid-40s and 50s until their death. And then they agreed in writing to be autopsied, and half the group got beta-carotene supplements, half the group didn't. It was a double-blind study, and what that means is that the people who were in the study, the participants, didn't know if they were getting beta-carotene or a placebo, and neither did the researchers. That's what it means to say double blind. Okay, it can be blind where the participants don't know, but double blind means nobody knows. And the reason they do that is because if the researchers know that you're getting a sugar pill and not the beta-carotene, maybe they interact with you differently. Okay, maybe there's some clues, like they're not expecting the same results. Who knows? But this is why they do double blind studies. So there's absolutely no bias, because nobody actually knows who's getting what. It wasn't until the last person died that they compiled all the data, and they were shocked to find out that the people who were taking the beta-carotene supplements had higher rates of lung disease than the people who did not supplement. Now, does this suggest that beta-carotene is bad for us? No, not at all. No one suggested that. What's happening is that the beta-carotene supplements were imbalancing the body, because we're meant to get beta-carotene as part of a whole food. So papayas and mangoes and leafy greens all have lots of have carotenes. Okay, I'm trying to speak and read a message at the same time. These things all have lots of carotenes, and we're meant to get our nutrients that way. But they not only have carotenes, beta, alpha carotenes, others. What's happening is we're getting the carotenes in along with lots of other nutrients that support each other, that we need to be there at the same time. And that doesn't happen. Even if we take, what they've seen now is, even if you take um, a multivitamin where everything is present. Even if you take something that's made from dried plants, you're destroying some of the nutrients in the processing of that substance. You can't dehydrate something, okay, and chop it up without problems with oxidation and destruction of nutrients. So the thing to do isn't to supplement, it's to actually address the underlying issue. And let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. I mean, I've worked with people. There was a woman who was eating a large salad every day and was deficient in magnesium. Now, if that's not surprising to you, it may be because you don't know that magnesium is the central atom in the chlorophyll molecule, which means leafy greens have lots of magnesium. So if you're eating a big salad every day, a whole head of lettuce every day, you should have lots of magnesium in your body. How was this woman deficient in magnesium? Well, what it demonstrates is that it's not about what goes in your mouth. It's about what gets to your cells. It's about how well your body is actually able to use those nutrients. That's the issue. Okay. And so there are a lot of people who are consuming plenty, but not getting it. Now, obviously, if you take a concentrated supplement, you're going to wind up getting what, having a better chance of getting what you need. Not because you needed a supplement, but because you're taking these concentrated amounts of it. Let's say your body is able to absorb. Let's say it's 10% efficient. Well, if you take enough, that you'll get what you need. If you're getting food quantities, you might not. But that's the problem. Okay, we don't want to slap a Band-Aid on something. We want to address the underlying issue. What's the underlying issue? Okay, if you're eating, well, everyone's eating. So if you're not getting what you need, there's only two possible reasons that I can see. The first one is that your diet itself is not sufficient. Okay, you're eating a diet that's not adequate for your body's needs. Okay, so if you live as people, some people, I mean, today in North America, they say the average person gets more than 60% of their calories from ultra processed foods. Now think about that. Ultra processed foods. I mean, this is, half the garbage in the grocery store, probably 90% of the stuff in the grocery store. This is the stuff, you go to the gas station, and where the cash register is, there's a little rack with stuff packaged in cellophane packages. That's ultra processed food. Does it have much fiber? No. Does it have much water? No. No. Can your body easily process that through your system? No. Is it devoid of nutrients? Absolutely. Okay, this is not food. It's garbage. Anything that's processed this way is garbage. And this includes supplements. It includes these dried grass powders that people insist on consuming. Folks, understand something really, really important. Okay, we need tiny amounts of protein. Eating more protein than that makes you age and die faster. And the science is completely clear about this. Greens like grass are 50% protein. Don't take this garbage. You don't need this. Now, you might feel better if you take it. And there's a couple reasons why that could be. It could be that you're missing some nutrients. It could be that you are being stimulated by the excess protein, because protein acts as a stimulant in the body. Excess protein stimulates you. So people who consume excess protein powders, etc., are often going to feel more energized. But it's harmful to you and leaves you depleted. This isn't something you want to be doing on a consistent basis. So, folks, with all the questions, because I'm going to be speaking today about these subjects, I'm not going to be answering a lot of questions unless you do a super chat. And so I may not even have a chance to read them. Okay, just letting you know until later on. Okay, so you want to be clear. We're meant to get our nutrients from food, from sunlight, maybe some from water and air. We're not meant to get our nutrients from processed supplements, even if they're made from whole substances like dried fruits and vegetables or dried grass juice powder. I mean, insane. Folks, we're not cows. We're not meant to eat grass. Why would we take a powder made from dried grass juice if we're not meant to eat the grass in the first place? Okay, we don't need that stuff. What we need, all we need are the natural foods our bodies were meant for. Think about this. 25 million species on the planet, it's estimated. Okay, many of them are insects, but 25 different animal species. How many of them do you think take supplements? Okay, how many do you think take supplements? None of them do. They don't take supplements, and they don't need supplements because they're eating the diet that their bodies were intended for. A, so remember, two problems. One is the diet's not sufficient. B, what's the B? Their bodies work properly. A lot of people, including this woman who was eating a large salad every day and deficient in magnesium, she was getting plenty of magnesium. That's plenty of magnesium. One head of lettuce per day, more than enough for anyone. But her body wasn't digesting, absorbing, or assimilating properly. I don't know which one of those steps, wasn't getting it. That's the issue. And you want to be clear about this. So what do? A, you make sure your diet is optimized. Okay? You make sure your diet's optimized. Someone posted something and tagged me, and was a comment saying, there's no evidence organic foods are better. What? Are you kidding? Okay? Commercial produce contains synthetic petrochemical pesticides and herbicides and fertilizers that your body can't break down and that are very toxic, carcinogenic, cancer-causing chemicals. Organic foods are also sprayed with substances from nature that break down naturally. Okay? And studies have shown that organic produce has between 2 and 10 times the nutrient content. Okay, now our nutrient needs are small, but it makes no sense to be eating garbage food that's devoid of nutrients. We want to eat foods that have all the nutrients the body needs. Okay, so, and we get our nutrients from food. So you want to know how many supplements I've taken in the last 30 years? Zero. Not a single one. Nothing. Not B12, not vitamin D, not vitamin K, nothing. We don't need this stuff. What we need to do is to get the body working properly. Okay, folks, if you're willing to fast long enough and properly, which usually means having experienced guidance, because very few people really understand the process. I mean, people, oh, I understand it. How difficult is it? Well, it's more difficult than you think to do really, really well. Having guided more than 10,000 people through the process. Someone said to me this morning, someone posted on Facebook, Loren thinks he knows everything about this. No, I don't. Absolutely not. But I definitely think I know quite a bit, having taken more than 10,000 people over the last 27 years through fasts averaging 26 days. We're not talking about 16 hours or 5 days. We're talking about nearly 4 weeks. That's my average fast. Okay, more than 700 people on fasts of 6 weeks or longer. So do I know what I'm talking about? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, am I an expert? No, I'm not. I've trained a dozen doctors who didn't know anything about this process. Okay, I'm training one right now, actually. She's here with me now. Okay, a client who changed her life as a result of fasting with me and has now walked away from medicine and wants to understand how to actually heal the body. And so she's still trying to learn what it is we're doing and how it works. Okay, I'm not an expert on physiology and biology, although several doctors have said, wow, your knowledge of this stuff is really pretty amazing. Okay, so you want to be clear. Only two possible reasons that you're deficient in something. A, your diet's not good enough. B, your body's not working properly. If it's the diet, what do? You fix the diet. You fix the diet. That's all. Okay, you've got to change the diet if the diet's the problem. Adding supplements to fix a poor diet doesn't work. Okay, someone today, I saw somewhere on one of the Facebook groups I was posting and said, someone had asked about eating dried fruit. Is this a good idea? No, it's definitely not. You want to avoid dried fruit as much as possible. I mean, every once in a while, it's one thing, but it's problematic. It dehydrates you. It's bad for your teeth, etc. You want to eat whole, fresh foods because the water, the perfect water in our fruits and leafy greens is the most important thing we're getting, is that perfect water. Water's life. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, but they said, yeah, but it's like pure minerals. Right, but we're meant to get those minerals from eating whole, fresh foods, not something that's been desiccated and is going to desiccate you as well. Okay, so A, fix the diet. You can't stick a Band-Aid on a diet and make it okay. If our diet's not okay, it's causing problems even if we supplement with stuff that we're missing. We're still causing issues, okay, because the diet itself isn't okay. And B, the body's not working properly. Now, how often is that the case? About 100% of the time, okay? If you've grown up eating conventionally anywhere, I don't care, we've got people here with us today from all over the world, from Latin America, from Europe, from North America, from Asia, from Australia, everywhere. And it doesn't matter where you grew up. If you grew up eating a conventional diet, your diet sucked, okay? Because it wasn't something, it was made of things that were never intended to be ingested, okay, in a living organism. That's primarily what it consisted of, things no organism should ever be consuming. And until you give your body the chance to cleanse and heal via fasting long enough, you're never going to feel and function as well as possible. It's not going to happen. Okay, there's a reason that I've gone almost 35 years without a day sick. Okay, until now, until recently. I actually got sick in Europe recently. And there's various reasons. I mean, I think the primary reason was I was running on 4 hours of sleep for a long time because I was trying to accomplish weight. I've got a lot of things going, a lot of projects, a lot happening here, etc. And you know what? I pushed myself a little too far. But 35 years without a day sick, that's pretty significant. Okay. And anyone can accomplish the same thing if they're willing to do what they need to do. How do you do it? What do? You get your body clean. Okay. Today, everyone talks about fasting, but most people are talking about going 16 hours without a meal. It's not a big deal. Okay. I mean, people who think it's a big deal are people who are abusing their bodies and need that break. But 16 hours isn't going to create any significant therapeutic change. Okay, when we fast people here 21 days or more, this is life-changing. If you want to change your life, if you want to feel and function better than you ever have, I'll guarantee that to you in writing if you can follow my simple coaching. You have to be willing to do what you need to do to get the results. There's no other way. Okay, I asked a client today how her husband was, someone who had fasted with me previously, and she said, amazing. He's happy. He's never smiled so much. Okay. Fasting not only took his health to a new level, but he feels better emotionally. Okay. This is what happens. Most people leave here feeling better than they ever have. Now, again, does it work for everyone? No. I mean, some people have conditions. They've abused their body for too long. It's going to be very difficult for the body and even if they were doing things they didn't know better, it doesn't matter. I mean, the bottom line is if we're not meeting our body's needs, even if we think we are, there's a lot of people out there who think they're doing the optimal thing. Some people eating a carnivore diet think they're doing the best they can do, but they're wrong and they're causing disease. And not knowing the truth isn't going to help them. Okay, they're still harming themselves every single day. Every single time they put animal products in their mouth, they're harming themselves. Even if they think they're doing the best that they can, they're not. Okay. The same is true with a lot of other things. A lot of people making choice, taking supplements, taking all these other things, doing all these things and thinking they're helping themselves. I've got a guy here now who has been focused on his health for 15 or 20 years. He's lost a lot of weight, but he's still overweight. He still has serious health challenges and he wants to argue about everything. Okay. The bottom line is, folks, if you're not where you should be, maybe there's something you don't understand yet. Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Is that possible? I hope so. Right. We want, Buddhism teaches us we approach everything with beginner's mind. We approach everything as if we know nothing, which is usually a lot closer to the truth than people think. Okay. That's usually what's going on is we don't really know nearly as much as we think we do. Okay. So hello, Corsair Fit Girl. Hola, bienvenidos. I'm going to answer a question I just glanced on here. Carnivore is indeed ridiculous. Can people fast and still be active or hardworking? No. No. Have you ever seen a cat or dog or any animal, any species, because they'll all do this, okay? If you see an animal get injured or get sick enough, what will they do? They will lay down and they will refuse to eat. You can put food right in front of them. They won't eat it because they instinctively know that processing food takes too much energy. They won't do it. Okay. They won't touch it. Okay. What do? while they're fasting. I mean, a dog can go weeks, in some cases even months. Cats typically 5 days or so max. Okay, it's because of the way their liver works. But they're also much smaller animals, and 5 days is a long time for a smaller animal. Okay, there are other animals that can go months, like iguanas can go months without eating anything. Okay, so what do they do while they're fasting? Nothing. They don't move. This is what we want to do. Okay, we want to rest as completely as possible. Yes, I'm aware there are all kinds of philosophies, all kinds of ideas. This is just my idea. True, but it's my idea based on trying to understand what's happening 25 million times every day in nature. Okay, in nature, there's no species that's drinking a little bit of soup or a little bit of juice and then going for 5-mile hikes like they do at the fasting clinic in Germany. They're not fasting people. They're eating every day, a small amount of calories. The fasting mimicking diet. Yeah, is it fast? You can't mimic fasting by I mean, yeah, are there some benefits by eating less? Of course. Your body has less work to do processing food. And for, a lot of the people in Germany who eat very rich, heavy diets, they're going to be much better off. Okay, eating less, no question. No, much better off. But it's not life-changing like it is when you are actually fasting, because only in the complete absence of calories and nutrients does your body go into the entire cascade of beneficial physiological changes. It's amazing what happens. Thank you, Adriana. I see Adriana, who's been here, just posted Tanglewood is the best place for water fasting in the world. Okay, spoken by someone who spent quite a bit of time here. Okay, I mean, we're this session we're completely full as usual. I think I counted. It's less than usual. I think we only have 6 people returning so far this session. We still have 1 or 2 spaces open for the end of the session. We're completely full now. But we have, I think, 22 people this session. If I it's something like that, maybe it was 17 referred by other people. Okay, referred by people who've been here. All right. That's what happens. This is how we've stayed as busy as we have for almost 27 years and haven't advertised since the first year. In the first year, I tried running magazine ads, didn't work, didn't get any business. I didn't know what we were going to do. You know what we did? We just did the very best we could. And we counted on the fact that people would come back and refer others. And we've gotten to the point that we stay completely full most of the time doing that. Okay. And to the point where, I'm now looking to see how we can expand over the next several years and create additional locations around the world so that people from Europe don't have to fly across the Atlantic. If they want to come from Europe, they'll be welcome. But what if we had a place in Europe where it was relatively warm most of the time? Okay, that's the idea. All right. I see Candace is here and has made a $4.99 contribution. Candace, I see you've got a question. I'm guessing you'd like me to respond. I see a couple comments here. Happy to be here live for the first time. Looking forward to starting my remote fast in a few weeks. What water do you recommend we drink in the States? And how do I super chat? You figured out the super chat, Candace, and thank you very much. For you in the States, I have a friend who will drive every 2 or 3 months. He'll get into his truck and he will drive to an amazing spring and fill up 100 gallons worth of containers and live off the spring water, for months. Here we have spring water bubbling up out of the ground, which is one of the reasons I bought this particular piece of property. You got to have perfect water, and there's nothing you can do that's better than clean spring water. Now, spring water may not be fit for consumption, but it's got to be clean spring water. So what you can do in the US is there's a couple of brands of high quality spring water in glass bottles. And it's going to be more expensive, but if it were me, that's what I would invest in. Okay. If you can't get it locally, buy yourself high quality spring water in glass bottles. Okay. So thoughts on enemas. You don't want to try to, the whole point really, folks, is to stop trying to manipulate the body into creating a particular outcome. Okay, so no enemas, no colonics. Your body will eliminate everything it needs to without doing that. Okay, so we don't want to manipulate the body, which is flushing out electrolytes, flushing out bacteria, flushing out, changing the pH of the system, weakening the bowel. I said electrolytes, I meant bacteria. You're flushing out your gut biome, which creates all the B vitamins. You don't want to do this. And then people try to rebuild this by taking all this stuff. No, stop doing this. Stop trying to manipulate the body and simply get out of the body's way. Okay, that's what works. This is what actually works. All right. Let's see. Spring water near DC. I don't know which springs are still fit for consumption. Where I grew up, there were springs. I actually grew up in a community called Carderock Springs in Bethesda, and we had springs, natural springs around the community. But I'm not sure if any of that water is actually still fit for human consumption, because as garbage goes into the water table, the water may no longer be okay to drink unless it's coming from quite deep. I don't know what the answer is. All right. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Again, I'm going to go back to sharing, and I'm not going to be looking at questions for the time being unless there's a super chat. But what you want to be clear about is that getting our nutrient needs met is best accomplished. And by the way, our nutrient needs, everyone know what a thimble is? A thimble is that little metal cup you put on your thumb when you're sewing so you don't stick the needle into your thumb. Okay, it's a little metal cup like that, like that big. And all the vitamins and minerals we need for a whole year, I mean, they're microscopic things, but all the vitamins and minerals we need for a whole year fit into a thimble, okay? We don't need a lot of nutrients. What we need is to efficiently and effectively use the ones we're already consuming. That's the issue, okay? And so the key is to make sure the body works as well as possible. And if you're here with me right now and you're not feeling and functioning as well as you'd like to, I'm telling you, folks, give yourself the greatest gift you can give yourself. Okay, the most important thing is your health, and fasting long enough with me, I guarantee your results if you're willing to follow my coaching. You have to do what you need to do. Okay, if you're not willing to do what you need to do, you're going to wind up with problems. Okay, but if you're willing to do what you need to, at least you're not going to get the results. Okay, if you're willing to follow simple directions, it's simple. The objective is to rest as completely as possible. Someone asked earlier, can I do this while I'm working? No, you should be resting as completely as you can. Okay. Should I be exercising? No, you should be doing as little as possible. The whole idea is to conserve your body's energy, so your body uses that energy to cleanse and heal. By the way, Candace, you probably have more questions, but you know what? Once you have made the next payment, you and I have, once you've done what you need to do, we're going to schedule a call probably sometime next week, I think, or the week after, and I'll answer all your questions for you. Okay, we're going to have a Zoom call where we'll go through all. In fact, we're going to get information to you where you're going to have all the information, and then I'll go over it with you in a call as well. So no worries. Okay, we're going to make sure you know everything you need to know about this process to maximize your benefit. I'm checking my watch because I have a call with a group of people fasting with me in 10 minutes, and I want to make sure I have time to pee and do a few things. I've got to talk to my staff who's looking for me before, so I'm going to have to jump off this live broadcast in just a minute. I am going to say again, I'm going to ask you to show a little love here, right? So if you're here with me on YouTube, I see there are 54 of you here. I see 29 thumbs up. If you're enjoying this, if you think this is positive, beneficial content that other people should, will benefit from, please give it a thumbs up. If you are with me on Instagram and you think there's benefit here, give it a like, okay? And don't forget, you can take the link and you can share it on your group, on your channel, on your page, anywhere you like, in your stories, any place you want to share it. Let's get this information out to people, because I think some of you know this and some of you don't know this, okay? I don't take a salary. I have 15, I think, or so full-time employees here and some part-time employees. Everyone gets paid every week, but not me. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I've set it up this way. I live the life of my dreams in paradise in an amazing location. We have more than 200 varieties of fruit growing on site. The place is gorgeous. The weather is usually perfect most of the time. We have, I think, 355 days a year on average where there's sun. Even when it's not sunny, it's warm almost all the time. I mean, this is exactly where I am, where I want to be, doing what I want to do. Okay. I was going to say I would do this without getting paid. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, is doing this without getting paid. Now, of course, I own the company, but all the money that comes in is invested either here or into the nonprofit foundation that we've created to set up Las Cascadas. And so far, because the foundation wasn't set up, the properties that have make up the project were bought in my name, but they will all be going into the foundation except for where we're going to be living. And if you're interested in living in paradise and being supported with a community of like-minded people, check out lascascadas.org. If you're interested in a full education, okay, and you want to take your health to an amazing new level, go to the academyforvibrantliving.com. Yeah, .com. Okay, so it's lascascadas.org because it's a foundation. The academyforvibrantliving.com. If you want to come and see Tanglewood, if you're not going to be able to get here to fast, but you at least, and you again, you should know, if you don't know, you've heard people talking about this here, that you can fast with me remotely. Okay, I guide people remotely. It's an incredible process. We have a daily call. You get a daily video. You get a daily email. You're supported. Again, I don't think there's anyone alive today who's guided as many people personally through long fasts as I have. Okay, at True North, they say they claim they've done 20,000 fasts. That's twice as many roughly as I've accomplished here. But the owner of the place doesn't supervise fasts. He runs a business. Many of his guests don't even meet him. Okay, who's supervising fast? There are people who are interning. These are chiropractors and naturopaths and MDs and osteopaths who are there to learn about fasting. And they're only there for 6 months and they don't have a lot of experience. And they're the ones that are actually supervising your fasts. Okay, and maybe that's why they stop every fast as soon as your vital signs are outside the normal range, which is unfortunate and prevents you from getting all the benefit that you want to get. Okay, so there's nobody out there who personally has the experience that I do. All right, so you can get that. Even if you can't get here, you can work with me remotely. But if you do want to get here, February 17th to 24th, 2020 festival. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's daily yoga classes. There's live music one night. We have an ecstatic dance one night. We have group meals with up to, I think the most we've seen was 50 different fruits, all organic, everything we offer. You'll learn about permaculture. You'll hear lectures from me if you want to. You don't have to be there, of course. We'll spend one day at a beach. Our closest beach was called the most beautiful beach in Costa Rica. It's gorgeous. We'll spend a day there. We'll spend a day at the highest waterfalls in Central America, which is our project, Las Cascadas. We'll take the group and hike in, and we'll spend a day. We'll have lunch in there. It's fantastic. There's pools where you can swim in these waterfalls. It's amazing. Thank you, Adriana. Adriana's just shared on Instagram the link for a GoFundMe campaign for Las Cascadas because we are needing to raise money. This whole project is going to be a lot of money. I've got a lot of money invested, and there's a few others that have invested as well, including some people here. Mostly it's the money I've earned from Tanglewood that's gone into the project. And if you want to help us, please do it. And if you want to become part of that project, you can do that. You can either invest or you can actually buy a lot. We don't have subdivided lots yet, but you can invest your money, get a promissory note, and stock in a for-profit company that we're setting up so that you'll always be earning something. If for some reason we can't get you a lot, you won't lose anything. Guaranteed, you won't lose anything. Okay, amazing place, amazing project, and I've got to go. I realize I've been gabbing here, and I now have 5 minutes to do all the things I need to do before my next call. So I've got to go. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I didn't really get to talking too much about electrolytes. Maybe we'll do that next time. Okay, I did more questions than I intended to. So yeah, I hope this was useful to you. Again, if you think it was, give it the thumbs up, give it the like, share it around, and I'll look forward to seeing you same time next week. If you speak Spanish, si habla español, voy a estar aquí mañana a las 9:00 en Costa Rica, en vivo, todos los sábados en español. Okay? Take care, everybody. Big hug.